recent ruling by a judge has reversed that. And these city workers who held their ground, we see this story now repeating over and over. These city workers that held their ground, would not take mandated medicine, have won favor in the court's judgment. So now the new headline reads this: City of Chicago employees fired for refusing COVID vaccine mandate must be reinstated, judge rules. And if you look in this ruling and start reading it, 74 pages. But at the bottom, the reason, the whole idea why they won this was on page 74. You can see these highlighted words: failing and refusing to bargain collectively. We see this appearing 5 times: failing and refusing to bargain collectively. So the unions were in good faith trying to really bargain with Mayor Lightfoot at the time and her office, and she just went out and cut the whole thing short and said, we're doing this. I really don't care about bargaining or anything. So the judge looked through and saw that happen and said, this is not right. So we're seeing a lot of these. Justice from the COVID response is really playing out in American courts in a big way. American courts are playing a huge role in really bringing reality back to the country here. We saw this in Massachusetts as well. Massachusetts state workers rehired after COVID vaccine mandate firings. They're not being offered back pay. So there's different flavors for each one of these. But perhaps one of the biggest shining examples that we've seen was the New York City judge. New York court orders all city employees fired for being unvaccinated to be reinstated and given back pay. And in this court ruling, the judge did something really interesting. He went right to the heart of the science in his ruling. He put this in black and white. He says this: being vaccinated does not prevent an individual from contracting or transmitting COVID-19. As of the day of this decision, CDC guidelines regarding quarantine and isolation are the same for vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals. The petitioners, the city workers, should not have been terminated for choosing not to protect themselves.
So, Jeffrey, let me just take a moment to just congratulate all of those workers across America that stood your ground. The pressure was huge. You walked away from your job, which must have been incredibly difficult, stressful, trying to feed your families, get through, but you held on to your principles, and you ended up standing as, our founding fathers did for this nation. I think about the Boston Tea Party. It's that type of American that makes our Constitution matter, and in this case, made our court systems matter. It is really, truly a victory. And I think now, Jeffrey, should they ever try to do something this ridiculous again, look how much precedence we have in the courts, because these brilliant, amazing Americans stood for their rights and proved that this was illegal, what our government tried to do and what our state agencies tried to do. And now, if they ever try to do it again, we will be able to point to these court decisions and say, no, this will never happen again. So truly a shining moment for America, and that little bit of resistance that still is in our blood that makes us the great nation that we are.